So you can run the Spring Boot images with the PostgreSQL backend images. You can just like condense it and come together. So that means the Docker Compose make it you make a single script files, and then you configure use all the service dependent services and just run it, and just simply Docker Compose up and stop and down and all things. There's all the information you can read through this how it is built, but we will discuss together how can you build with the Docker Compose file and Docker file. That's all. So let's have a start to the after the installation of the Docker. You can check it all the possibilities, how many Docker images, and then where the volumes is located, which volume is used or not used, and how the application is running, and all the status information. So it's running status with the different this is the PI ports. So this is the default Postgres port, and this is the PostgreSQL, the Spring Boot application for 2021. So we will show you discuss together how can it build. So even though you can, if you go to the window channels, and then if you see this is the this so that means we install the Docker and Docker Compose with the part of the tools and the Spring Boot installation applications, and then we have the Postgres database with the backend server, and then so on and so forth. And then after that you have a lot of commands. How can we go together? But I will go to the step by steps, and then write down some commands, and then let's see. And you can so we can build the Docker images. You can show as a command mode. That is still also works. It's a little bit slower, and then this is two images that I show you in the Docker GUI. So it's exactly the same images. So when it's running, how the size of this is when it's created, and then so on and so forth. And then even though in the Docker Compose you see the application is running, so even though you can check it like here. So you see that the Docker is tags, and the tag number is 121, and of course the database and image ID, and then it has when it's created and the size of the Docker. So you can see the Docker PS. The Docker process is running. So you see the two processes running exactly when it is running, and then your container code, and also your external code, your public code. So you see the two container name is the user registration Flyway, and DB registration is the backend database and container names. So even though the same pictures you see in the GUI levels. So both sides you can work with the command mode, or you can work also the Docker desktop GUI tools that help you a lot if you don't like to make that. The command lines, you can also the GUI to control all the applications, stop, remote, and all the images. So let's have you start the project structure. So what we already discussed, that's the information that we added. We discussed a lot here the project structure. You see there's a really professional structure. The applications, it has all the information. It has a model, it has a repository, it has the controllers and service implementation and service package, the utilities package. That's the thing. When I started development, then we can discuss together one by one every line of the code I will discuss together. The most important part I need to discuss here is part of the beginning part of the applications. So it has. So you see that everybody knows this is one of the most important. Last screencast I discussed already. What this screencast number 64.1. It is one of how can you use the data migration tools for the for your applications like Flyway and Wikibase that I already discussed last class, but I try to to take the same application and deploy the application with the help of Docker files and Docker Compose files. So that means if you have a Spring Boot applications, if you have the standalone jar file is already created, and this is simply take the jar files, and out of the jar file you can compile, you can make a Docker files, and just copy this Docker file jar file into the Docker containers and make the image out of these applications, and then you can write down a simple Docker compose files. That's enough. That's enough. So this is the migration tools, and those I will discuss a little bit later how the migration system works, and then this is give really overview. I will give you the overview how can you write down your Flyway, the other Flyway migration scripts, and then we can continue this one. So this is how can express. So this is so you can go to this way. So we have application.yml files. This is the most important part. How can you configure your Postgres database? You see that exactly the same structure like normal standalone jar file creation, the Spring Boot application.properties file. Here this case the string application.yml file. You can also use the, if you see the down part of the application YAML file, it has different environments. So that means I use here the different profilings, Spring Boot profilings concepts. So you can override this information from the external file. As I said, I will show you later how can you make this, how can you make just to make this the jar files, and how can you dump into externally configure your Docker files and Docker Compose files and run the application externally. As I show you later part of the videos or the part of the database context. So you see that the very simple. So we just we can get the base image from the Java Open JDK 8 versions. We just simply arguments. That argument passed to the Docker files. You see that here the argument is passed. Just like arg build the numbers, just like additional information. How can you configure your arguments and then feed the arguments and run it, and then you can see the maintainers, and just simply just update the three parts from here to here in the from your local file system. So you do current root class path root directory, and copy the jar files into the containers, and then for instance just simply Java jar and then run the application. That's all. And then this is the most important one that we are looking for, and Data Compose file. The most important. That's I said. I will discuss a little bit later. Just to repeat the overview how it is works, how the system works, or how can configure the complete project. So you have a like your complete project structure. You have a application.yml file to defining all the connectivity, and the most important part connectivity with your database instance from the containers, and then you need to be defined two files, additional Docker files and Docker Compose files. And Docker Compose files, you define the very simple Docker Compose files, and then after that you have to define the Docker Compose files. So we define here services. So we define the database services exactly the same names in the database services into the Docker into the application.yml file. Not the local host, because we are not the local host. We are running the Postgres database into the Docker containers in the Docker instance. So you need to define your certain definitions exactly that this one. And then you have database name, default port, and user and password. Maybe you have different username and password of the database platform, and so on and so forth. So here the most important part, because you see the normally we write down here create or update or delete, and this create or update for this case is deleted, because we are using the Flyway database migration tools. That's the reason. And we validate our against our ORM, our domain models against with our script models, our scripts, the Flyway scripts. So this is the really professional, as I said, this is a professional way to build applications when you are working in any company and this is the one of the goal, not the hibernate create your models